it. Yes, sir, we did it. We got the victory on Monday Night Football, 24-7 over the Minnesota Vikings in our home opener at the Link. There were a lot of doubts about the Eagles going into this game. A lot of doubts, but however, we went in there, erased all doubts, got this W in impressive fashion, and now we're 2-0, sitting at first place in the NFC East. Well, technically, we're going to tie with the New York Giants, but you know what? That's still only week 2, and let's face it, I'm not that impressed with the Giants, but that's another story for another time. So let's get right into it. So last night, we had an awesome performance from Jalen Hurts in yesterday's game. He was 26 for 31 passing, 333 yards with a touchdown strike, 2 touchdown runs. Did that 1 interception, but that was after that bad. Yeah, after he threw that past the Gainwell, bounced off Gainwell's hands. But you know what? But he did run on the ground a little bit. He ran 11 times, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was 26. And we know what that 26-yarder was, right? That was a touchdown run. And we saw a lot of Michael Vick style in Jalen Hurts yesterday. He was throwing some nice passes. You know, he was running too. I mean, that was just a good all-around performance from our starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And I was glad to see that right there. So great job there. We also had nice job, Devontae Smith on 7 targets, caught all 7 of his targets for 80 yards. That was nice right there. Devontae Smith, he made the most receptions. He had Dallas Goedert with 5 receptions on 6 targets for a total of 82 yards. He also had Quez Watkins. He had a couple receptions there. A.J. Brown had 5. Even Zach Pascal got in with 2 receptions. So we were able to move the ball around a little bit right there. So it was a good performance on offense in this game. And defense, especially in the second half, defense stepped up big. Especially big play Slade, Darius Slade Jr. He had 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections. He did his job shutting down Justin Jefferson. That's right. I mean, this is just an all-around good performance by the Eagles. And if you're just going to tune in to the stream, if you're tuning in to the stream, do me a favor, drop a like, help out with the algorithm. You can leave a comment in the live chat. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. But this was a good game right here all around by the Philadelphia Eagles right here. I mean, we just went in and absolutely took care of business here. Defensively, we did a much better job getting pressure on Cousins, especially in the second half. We saw it there. He was making some wildly inaccurate throws when he was under pressure. He was, some of those picks to Darius Slade Jr., some of those passes he was throwing into the ground. And that's why it's important to get pressure on the QB. That's why I emphasized that as one of my points to victory yesterday on Twitter. And I'm actually going to pull up that tweet. So I'm going on my Twitter right now. I'm going to pull up that tweet and show you what I posted yesterday. So I'll be with that in one moment. But one of those points was, as I was saying, to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. And we did that. And with that, us getting pressure on Cousins, what it helped us do was it helped us force him into making bad passes. And that was a key contributor to us winning right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen just for one moment right now. So here's what I posted yesterday. So this was what I posted, Keys to Victory, 8:02 a.m. yesterday. I posted Stop the Run, which we did. Did a nice job shutting down Dalvin Cook. We didn't let him get going. I mean, he looks clumsy. He looked sluggish last night. And yeah, our run defense was on him there. Key number 2, get pressure on Cousins. Everyone that saw that game knows we certainly did that. Run the ball. We did do that well. So that's 3 checks right there. Efficient passing from Hurts, check 4. Play disciplined football. I'm going to say no on that one because we did give up some unnecessary penalties on offense. Specifically, we had several ineligible man downfield. So I'm going to stop the share right there. But yeah, that last point, though, we didn't do. That's the only thing about this game right there I didn't like. Because there were 3 ineligible mandated field calls. And when I was doing the live stream yesterday, the play-by-play, I was pointing it out. I was getting upset about it. I'm like, come on, what are you doing with this? What are you doing with this? Ineligible man field, you can't go past the line of scrimmage if you're a lineman. You know that. You're supposed to know that. And there were several holding calls. And that was the one thing about last night I didn't like. And that's something that they did in week 1 too, but they got to fix that going forward. And yes, they're 2-0 right now, so it hasn't hurt them, hasn't cost them any games as of right now. But as the season goes along, or especially come playoff time, they're going to need to fix it up and play more discipline. Because that could come back to bite them possibly in the playoffs. Say we're going against, say, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Los Angeles Rams, defending Super Bowl champions. Or possibly if we end up seeing the Packers or maybe even the Vikings again in the playoffs, or whoever the case may be, maybe the Cowboys or whoever. If we get to that point, we're in the playoffs in one of these games. The undisciplined play could cost us. If we don't touch up on that now, or it could cost us a few games in the regular season, which could be the difference between possibly winning the division and wild card or home field advantage number 2 seed, or whatever the case may be. But we got to fix. Point I'm getting at is we got to fix up on that right there, all those unnecessary penalties before it ends up costing us a few important games. So that's the one thing the Eagles really got to fix up on from what I saw last night. But there was still plenty of good to talk about right here. There's plenty of positives from that game last night. So obviously our defense, I'm going to get back to big play Slay, Darius Slay Jr. He did a phenomenal job shutting down Justin Jefferson. If I were to give somebody the game's MVP award, I would give it to Darius Slay Jr. I would. Because those right there, those deflections played a key role right there. A lot of those deflections he had were on Justin Jefferson out of his 5 deflections. So that played a key role right there in shutting him down, preventing him from being able to make his difference in the offense. So that was good, right? So that helped us out right there. And the 2 interceptions came both when the Vikings were in scoring territory. If you don't make those picks, you're possibly talking it's 24-21 going to the final drive where the Vikings, who knows how that pays out there. If we don't get those 2 picks from Slay, they could be possibly talking about 2 extra touchdowns, and who knows how that could have changed the game. But obviously because Darius Slay Jr. made those plays, we didn't have to worry about that. So obviously he lived up to the moniker Big Play Slay and came through those 2 clutch interceptions, which prevented the Vikings from scoring any points in the second half. Then, actually, there were no points in the second half from either team. But that played a key role right there in us absolutely keeping a strong threshold in the lead. Or what am I looking to say? We're keeping our foot on the gas pedal, so to say. That helped us keep our foot on the gas pedal. Those are picks right there from Slay. So I got to give big credit for him and to the defense as a whole for stepping up in the second half. But it was cool to see Darius Slay Jr. He presented one of his interception balls to James Harden, who was at the link last night. He was there. Former Eagles head coach and 2022 NFL Hall of Fame inductee Dick Vermeil was there last night. There were several others who were there last night, but yeah, that was definitely one of the games to go to if you're there to support the Eagles, because they absolutely lived up. They showed up and they made it happen right there. So an absolutely awesome performance right there, especially from Darius Slay Jr. and Jalen Hurts, man. There was some doubt. Some people still had their doubts about Hurts. I know there was one YouTuber who does Eagles content. He's been a Hurts critic for a while now, and he just recently uploaded a video earlier today implying that he sold on Jalen Hurts. I haven't actually watched the video, but I've seen it in my suggestions. And, some of you might be wondering who it is. I'll say it is. It's Nitro Freak. You guys that they're heavy followers of the Eagles YouTube community. You guys know who Nitro Freak is. He's a veteran of this here on YouTube. But he, for the longest time, was a critic of Hurts. And he even did a video saying he sold on Hurts on his performance yesterday. And he did a good job yesterday, especially from last year, where last year he had some trouble reading the path, reading his options. He was trying to force plays a little too quickly, but here he did a good job reading his options, getting the ball out to the open man. So you can tell he definitely, all that work he was putting in the offseason wasn't just all, it wasn't just all an act for the camera. It wasn't just all for his image to make himself look good. You could tell he was legit putting in that work right there. And it showed yesterday in that game right there. So nice performance by Jalen Hurts right there. With those weapons around him, with having Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and those guys. Just excellent all-around performance right there by this team. And, to give credit where credit's due, with Jonathan Gannon, I'm going to relax a little bit on the Jonathan Gannon bashing, obviously, after yesterday. And we did a good job. It looked like on paper the Vikings offense was better than Detroit Lions. So we're a little bit concerned after the Lions put up 35 points against us week one that going into this game, they'd put up a lot of points on us. I even had my concerns too. I even was thinking, oh boy, Lions scored 35 against us. Vikings could really do some damage to our defense. That was my mindset going into last night. But obviously, that Eagles defense proved me and the rest of our fans that had doubts going into last night's game wrong. So that was great right there. Great job right there by the Eagles. And just absolutely awesome. Right, so, it's good now. We get this win. We get our win in our first home opener on prime time. It's big for momentum right there. Definitely helps us out because we were going into this game with a lot of concerns and question marks. But not only did we come out with a win, we came out with a big win here against a Vikings team that had momentum going in their favor after their week one win against the Packers. Their new head coach, Kevin O'Connell. But who knows what's going to happen? The Vikings, man, they might still be in the playoff mix as the season goes along. They might be. We'll see, though, about it. We'll see as the season goes along how the Vikings fare. Yeah, obviously, so where we still have the Bears and the Packers on the schedules coming up later in the season with the NFC North. Yeah, so that's it. We're at least at that 2-0 start right there. And yesterday with Jalen Hurts, though, yeah, it's definitely that. And right now I'm going to do is give gonna chug us a little bit of water here as a toast to the Eagles for their performance yesterday. We'll consider this. So this will be a water toast instead of an alcoholic toast. So here it goes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that felt good. Yeah, it feels good to be on top. We definitely see this team. We definitely see now with the weapons around us and with Hurts getting more experience and time, this offense looks much better. Minus the penalties we committed, because those penalties we committed, we lost a couple first downs on that too. And on some of those drives where we had two drives where several first downs were called back due to penalties on separate drives, and some of them were first down. So it's possible that we could have scored more points and done even better, and possibly gotten even more out of it if it weren't for some of the penalties we committed. So if we can fix up on that, and going forward, we could really be a dangerous offense. Really, because if we didn't do that last night, especially that second drive, we had that 3-and-out, we had a few penalties there. We could have, in the first quarter, we could have possibly scored even more points there. Maybe a field goal or even a touchdown on that drive if it weren't for penalties there, taking away first downs. It happened again in the third quarter, too, where we lost a couple first downs due to penalties. We could have scored even more points out of it. So if we can just fix up on that, man, our offense could really be deadly. We could be scoring over 30 points a game on a consistent basis if our offense just, if our offensive line guys play more discipline, we knock it off with the ineligible man downfield, with the holding and all that, could really make things better. And we look at the schedule coming up, looks favorable for a 4-0 start. Because we got next week, we got Washington on the road. It'll be our first matchup versus Carson Wentz. So we'll definitely talk about that more in my preview live stream for that game at the end of the week. So be on the lookout for that. And then week 4, we play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jacksonville Jaguars at the link. And you know who their head coach is? You guessed it, Doug Peterson. So we'll have that game week 4. I mean, so it'll be interesting. So those are there's interesting headlines coming up for those 2 games. And when we look at the teams we're playing, there certainly are winnable games. So I'll definitely be back with a preview more of the Washington game later this week. So yeah, but it's looking like we, are a good position possibly to be 4. No, coming up, but I gotta say, Eagles perform. But to anyone that's tuning into the stream, I mean, right? If you are going to tune into the stream, feel free to drop a like while it's still on. Feel free to leave a comment in the live chat, say hello, do whatever, and subscribe for new. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. But as of right now, though, man, there's not much else to say about this except this was a good performance last night. I mean, we went into the link right there and absolutely took care of business in front of our home crowd. Awesome performance. And as far as the whole Jalen Reagor revenge thing goes, yeah, well, how did that work out? Okay, let's see. The only thing, he had one good play, and that's it, where he took a pitch from behind the line of scrimmage. Now, he did with that pitch, what did he run it? How many yards did he run that for again? So he ran it for 17. He took that one pitch, ran it for 17, the first down. So Reagor had that, but other than that, what did he do? What? Punt and returning, he didn't do anything. He had fair catches, getting stopped almost immediately. So Jalen Reagor, we heard about this was going to be his revenge game. He was saying he was looking this as a revenge game, and he barely did a thing beside that one, handoff he took. Beside that one play, he didn't do anything significant to help his team at all. So how's that revenge tour going right there for Jalen Reagor, huh? Yeah, it's not looking, and if that's any indication of what Carson Wentz's revenge is going to be like next week when we travel to their stadium, it's not going to be good for Carson Wentz either. But yeah, I mean, oh gosh, that's the best part about it right there. Jalen Reagor couldn't do anything to help out the Minnesota Vikings in his game back at the link against his former team. And it was crazy. We had Darius Slay Jr. on Justin Jefferson. So any chance that Justin Jefferson was going to help the Vikings out and make a game out of it and possibly make us the laughing stocks again of the 2021 round for not drafting him did not happen. Darius Slay Jr. certainly made sure of that. But yeah, there was just this was just an awesome game right there. All I can say is fly, Eagles, fly. Awesome performance right there. So again, you come on here briefly, give my thoughts, takeaways from the game. We pretty much hit on the main points I said they needed to do to win. We ran the ball effectively. We certainly did a better job at the Vikings. That certainly played a role in us winning this game. Hurts had an efficient passing game, which I said he needed to do. So we needed to stop the run. We did. Dalvin Cook wasn't his usual self out there. And I also said when you get pressure on Cousins, which we did, we forced him to make some bad plays, throwing it in the ground. We forced him to throw 3 picks. So we did hit that right there. The only point we didn't hit was the disciplined football, mainly because we gave up more penalties. But outside of the penalties, even, we did play disciplined football. So it's like we didn't check that one off as well. But yes, we did. We definitely hit on the main points I said. We hit enough of them to come out with the dub and take care of business with a decisive win at home. So that's really all I got to say right there. I'm just going to keep repeating myself by going too long. I'm going to say right there, so everyone tuned into this, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, drop a like. And even if you're watching this after it's been recorded, definitely go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. And subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new vid. Most of all, everyone watching, enjoy the rest of your day. Nikki Stees signing off. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!